Welcome back to the Extra channel. Now, you've probably already read the title and I've probably already put it in the thumbnail, and a lot of you guys that are probably subscribed to the channel in the last year and a half might not even be familiar with the car that is about to pull up on the driveway. I have been stupidly busy with editing a main channel video, so Georgia has gone to road speed to pick up my Honda Civic Coupe. Now, for the original subscribers that have been here from probably about 3 years ago, you'll know exactly what car I'm on about. But for the ones that have only subscribed in the past year or so, you probably don't even have a clue that I even own this car. And that's because it sits in storage for most of the year and it only comes out for a few shows of the year. Then it pretty much goes back to storage because it's a finished car, and well, I ain't got space for it here because of all the projects that we've got going on, but it's about to turn up now and I'm going to see what road speed have done for the first time. And then we've got a few things to do because we're taking it to the Nürburgring in a couple of weeks. So we've got some modifications, we've got some upgrades, and I think that's everything. I'm just looking forward to driving it again because it's been so long since I've touched this car, but I'm very excited to see what we've just had done. I can hear it. There she is. She made it. This, ladies and gentlemen, is my 1999 Honda Civic EJ6. Now, the reason it is an EJ6 is because it is the Coupe/Coupe model. So it has the kind of glass separate to the boot instead of it being a hatchback. These are a little bit more sought after, a little bit rarer, and personally, I prefer them. Not just because of how they look and because they have that cool spoiler on the back, but because these actually share the same exact chassis as the DC2, which when it came out was pretty much the best front wheel drive car on the planet and is still up there with one of the best 90s kind of front wheel drive cars ever made. And this has got the exact same chassis, and what I haven't done to this is probably not even worth doing. It's completely like modified. We've got a roll cage in the back, bucket seats in the front, aftermarket steering wheel. In fact, it's open. Aftermarket steering wheel, all carpeted in the back. Rotor, what are these? Rotor grids, I think. Caliper conversion on the rear. All the underneath has all been undersealed and treated, and pretty much every nut and bolt has been kind of restored on this car. Carbon bonnet, carbon splitter. I think the gear knob's carbon as well. We've even got a carbon fibre gear knob, ladies and gentlemen, which was just stupid for a gear knob. But yeah, it is pretty modified, and that's not even the best bit. If I come around here and pop the engine, in fact, look, we've got a carbon aerial delete, carbon trims. I love a bit of carbon on an old Japanese car. I think it looks so cool. The best bit is it has got a Civic Type R engine under the bonnet, and it's just come back from Road Speed, who have done this. This is obviously an intake pipe, and they have done like the pie cut welds, and it just looks way better, and it sits down there. If it was up here where it was before, it was literally heat soaking all of the hot air coming off the radiator. So they've rerouted it, made a custom pipe going down where all the cold air is coming from the floor. I just need to be careful in any big puddles or any rain, but I don't try to drive this car in the rain. If I get caught out, it's all protected, but I prefer not to. I'm talking a lot. But yeah, this is a K20 A2 out of a EP3 Type R, and yeah, it's a very, very fun car. And while it was at road speed, as you can see, there is meant to be a battery. I got them to relocate the battery to the boot. One, to make the engine bay look a little bit tidier, and two, weight distribution. Not that I'll ever notice it, but they have, if I get this out of the way, relocated it in the boot just there, the original battery, and it's bolted underneath on a nice tray. As you can see, still all under sealed, and yeah, that is not going anywhere. So I've got a few things to do to this car in this video, because in 2 weeks time it is going back to the Nürburgring for its second trip to the ring. I've got a few bits that I actually want to do to this car before we take it. A few upgrades, a few, not repairs, but the brakes need doing as well. I've got upgraded brakes. I want to do a few nice little bits. And if you haven't guessed it already, I do like myself a little bit of carbon. So the first modification is adding more carbon. So what is going on is this. Now, Georgia actually bought me this for my birthday, and it is a genuine carbon fibre grille, and this thing looks sick. It is second hand, that's why there's a couple of little bug splatters on it and stuff like that, but it's just going to look so good. And finding a genuine carbon fibre grille for one of these cars is pretty rare. So first job is to take this colour coded one off and replace it with that one. Right, see if I can get under here with this tool. Yes, we can. One, two. I think I'll keep this little carbon trim piece on as well. I think it just doubles up quite nicely. Oh, don't scratch the fresh engine bay. This has actually been K-swapped now for, I think it's easily over 2 years, so it's still looking really, really good for how long it's how long ago we had the conversion done. But yeah, this is literally my pride and joy. This is my number one car. Like, I've always wanted one of these cars. What my kind of dream car was the hijack Civic from Fast and Furious, but then I wasn't a massive fan of the EG front ends. I've much preferred the EK front ends. So then when I find out that they do pretty much a hijacked Civic rear with a EK front, I was like, that is the car for me. So that's why it took me so long to find one of these, because I wanted one in the blue as well. But that grille is now out. I am doing all this one-handed, by the way, so appreciate the skill. And that kind of slides up into the groove. There we go. And on that side, there we go. I can get the little shroud back on and then push these into place. I haven't actually seen what this is going to look like yet. I might even hate it, but there's one. I'll put this one in so it can't move. There's 2, 3, 4, 5. Right, let's shut the bonnet. That's the one. That looks sick. Yeah, very happy with that. Yeah, I personally think that looks so sick. I think it contrasts really nice with the blue, and then obviously follows kind of, it brings the carbon from the bonnet into the bumper, if that makes sense, because there was kind of like a harsh line of the carbon and it went straight to blue. Now, that looks unreal. I love that, man. That looks so, so good. Okay, now the next modification is actually an upgrade as well as a repair. Because over the weekend, when I took this car to Calvin's car event, for some reason, after this car was sat in the sun all day on the show, everything, all the ignition comes on, but what has stopped working is my radio thing. Now, this has been in the car since I've bought it. I'm not sure if it's just kind of got too hot and it's blown the fuse, or I don't know what's happened, but it's coming out. It's a little bit old style, and it started to mess up a little bit, in all fairness, because it was kind of, you'd be listening to music and then it would randomly just stop working. So we've got an upgrade / repair for it, and this, I think, if it works, if it does exactly what it says it should do, then this is going to be sick, especially for the Nürburgring. What this is a single DIN Apple CarPlay screen. So this is a single DIN and it should have Spotify on it, Waze on it, everything. And like I say, if this actually works, it's going to be so sick to have in a bloody 90s Japanese car. This should replace that one and sit in that gap, and hopefully I'll be able to, one, charge my phone, two, have Apple CarPlay and Waze, and yeah, it's going to be a lot better. So I'm going to take this one out, and hopefully this goes smooth sailing and it actually works. I'll be so happy if it does. I really will. Right, let's get that one out. Right, now that one's out, I think we can actually unplug this adapter harness. That clearly is for a different radio, and I'm hoping this just plugs in, which it does. Come on, if this works, I'll be... What is this? Is this a microphone? Right. Should we see if it actually works? I'll be so excited if it does, but for some reason I can't see it being that simple. No way. How do I get to the CarPlay?
Do you have to plug your phone in with a cable?
No, it's via Bluetooth, actually.
Sorry.
So it's wireless Apple CarPlay as well? Surely not. Right. We're going to have to test this. Where's your phone?
Connected, apparently. Oh, here we go.
That is insane.
I'm just going to show where we live, you know.
Oh my God, that is insane. That actually works really fast, doesn't it? So you see what dead music you've got on there?
That's rude.
Sorry, but
right.
How sick is that?
I wasn't expecting it to work.
I wasn't expecting it to work. Now, will it actually fit in the single
Well,
din?
just leave it out like that because it looks good.
Yeah, that... Right, let's see if it actually fits in. Well, I just took the existing cage off and replaced it. Well, and literally just pushed it into place. And look how... It actually looks better than the other one. Do you not think?
Yeah.
I can't believe that. And the thing is, people are going to ask me where I've got it from, and it's not even a sponsored thing. And I don't even make commission.
I feel like
But it's
no
from
one knows
Amazon.
about them though, because surely everyone would have them.
Yeah, that's literally just from Amazon. There's two USBs, one for me, one for Georgia, and then a thingy USB. What are they called? USB-C. So two normal USBs and a USB-C, and that fits that snug in there. That's not going to vibrate, is it? I am so impressed. Like, I am insanely impressed with that. You've got all your normal radio function. Oh, it's literally instantly connected to your phone. And started playing music. Well, I tell you who's going to be jealous. Oh, Baz. When he's there in his 15 plate Golf R. And
Really?
me, in my 99 plate Civic Coupe, got Apple CarPlay. That is wicked. I'm sorry, but I'm well impressed with that. Okay, next job is another upgrade. Now, I actually haven't, since having this car K-swapped, changed the brakes. I changed them literally the day after the engine got put in, and since then I haven't changed them at all. And well, actually there's not even a lip on them, but these are standard brakes. I think they're just cheap and cheerful ones from Euro car parts, and they're not really doing the job. We've got Brembo pads in there, and yeah, they're not really putting up much of a fight. They're pretty weak. So a massive thank you to the guys at ProBite, because they have sent me out some of their performance discs and pads. So what we should have in here are, I think these are grooved or J-hooks. I think they're them ones, which is the ones I want. I'm pretty sure that's what they've sent out. So yeah, a massive thank you to these guys, because yeah, there we go. We can now upgrade the Civic to some much better pads and discs, which it has been needing for a long time. So what I will do is I will leave the link to ProBite in the description below, and yeah, you can check out their website. They do brakes and pads for loads and loads of cars and all different kind of performances. As you can see, they've got drilled and grooved, they've got J-Hawk, they've got loads of different shapes and sizes of pads and discs. I'm going to be using them on the E36. I'm going to be using them on my Civic. So again, I'll leave the link in the description. Go check them out. But for now, I'm going to jack the car up, get the old discs and pads out and replace them with the nice shiny new ones. Right, calipers off. Now it's the important part of these horrible things. Oh, I hate them so much. I feel like it's going to round off.
What are they?
The screws for the bloody... for the discs. They're just... oh, they're horrible. That one I just had to drill out, but the old brake discs are off, and they're not actually in that bad of condition. They're just not very good for performance, so to say. So we can now replace them with these, which are going to be way better for if I ever do nip on track when I take it round the Nürburgring, and just overall they'll be a lot better performing. So I'll get that on and then quickly replace the pads. Right, here we go. Moment of truth. Will the caliper push back in? This is always a bit of a nerve-wracking, not nerve-wracking, but like, if it doesn't, you've got to go get new calipers, and it's just annoying. So I'm hoping these push back in. Yes! Oh, good. That is good news. Come on. There we go. Right, that's great news. It's a Honda, and the downfall about Honda is a lot of the times the calipers seize. So that is good news that they haven't. Right, now I'll grease the new pads up and get them in the carriers. Okay, discs and pads are on, but I've tried a little something. Now on this side, as you can see, I've not done this side yet, but we've got these wheel nuts that are a little bit, well, they've clearly gone kind of aged. Not even aged, but where they've been on and off, you can kind of see, and it looks a little bit ropey. So I thought I'd be a little bit daring and order some blue ones, but I'm not 100% sure. I don't know if they just look a little bit Temu and look a little bit tacky. I'm not entirely sure. Yeah, I don't know about them. I don't know whether I want them, and they're not as... oh, I really don't know. I'm not sure. They just look battered. And I don't know, they just look a little bit cheap. Yeah, I think I might just put them back on. Yeah, I'm not a fan of them. They look... do they? What do you guys think? I'll tell you what, I'm going to have a vote on Instagram. I'm going to have a vote. Well, they're going blue because on Instagram, 58% of people have voted blue and 42% have voted for the black one. So they're staying blue. I do think the contrast's quite nice against the bronze, but yeah, if you want to be involved with little stuff like this, I'm always active on the Instagram. So the Instagram is just my name, Jesse Collingham. So I'm going to do the other side, but I'm not going to bore you with that. I'm going to jack the car up, get the disc off, get the pads replaced, and we'll carry on with the rest of the few bits that I need to do. I've got an idea as well, something that I've just thought about doing, I don't know if it's being tacky, but I think it will look better than it actually does. But I'll show you that in a minute. Well, they work a lot better. Were you not expecting that? No. Yeah, they are very, very sharp now, especially with the braided brake lines. They work really well. Much, much better than the other ones. I miss driving this car. I wish I had more time to drive it. But that's one thing that definitely needed doing. Right, let's head back to the driveway, and I've got a couple more bits that I kind of want to do before we set off. Okay, we are nearly done with the Nürburgring prep on the Civic Coupe. Now, I've actually got one thing left to do. In fact, it's actually undoing something, but yesterday I actually took the car to Zach at Central Motorsport in Derbyshire because it needed 2 new track rod ends and 2 new lower ball joints because the track rod ends had gone a little bit loose and the ball joint on the left had started to squeak a little bit where it's just gone dry. So we've had them replaced and it's absolutely perfect. So shout out to Zach at CMS. One last job to do before we set off. We're actually setting off this evening to Dover, and then tomorrow we're actually getting on the ferry and going over to France and then driving to the Nürburgring. But you'd have seen me put this steering wheel in earlier, and after driving it around for a little bit, I think I do just prefer the Sparco one. So I'm going to put the Sparco one back on, and this is just going for sale. I think the difference is the Sparco one is, sorry for the mess by the way, we've actually got a shed going in the garden for parts and stuff like that. So yeah, I think the reason I prefer